Howdy, howdy, Landcruiser people. I'm going to make a little video today about the perils and troubles of Landcruiser hardware. But anyways, I just want to start out, I just talk about this Landcruiser rally coming up in April. I know it's a little early, but April 18th there, 2020 coming up down in Bakersfield. Good friend of mine, Andy, puts on a Landcruiser rally. A lot of fun, a lot of people to meet. Usually Spectre's there, Spectre Off-Road, some people will be there. Marlon and his wife, Marlon Crawler, pardon me, are usually there. A lot of good parts, a lot of fun, usually about half a day. Anyways, just thought I'd give that a little plug, tell you about it. Coming up here, April. Alright, the perils of Landcruiser hardware. I've been doing Landcruisers for almost 20 years now. And boy, you know, you guys, me, the stories we could tell about dealing with the old Landcruiser hardware. Why the Japanese use such bad steel? You know, Uma Thurman, old Cottonmouth at Kill Bill, talked about Japanese steel. Maybe on the swords it was good, but boy, Japanese hardware and the steel they used on the bodies, bad. Best thing to know is good drill and tap is a good place to start. You know, these are a few taps. Your 8mm, 10mm, 6mm, about 90% of the Landcruiser. And then I like these Viking Ultra Bore. They call them the Mechanics Link. Here, drill bits. Those are about the best I've ever come across as far as drilling out hardware. You know, and and then definitely replacing it with stainless steel when you're done. Like, you know, this is some 6mm stuff here. You can see this is the stainless that I replace it with, captured washer, and then this is the captured washer. That would have been the original Toyota one, the zinc soft steel. I don't know why they use such bad steel, just impurities. They didn't know how to make good steel or what. And then like this is your 8mm stuff here, so this will be your stainless steel replacement, which I buy these at the local hardware store. You know, you can buy them through the cruiser places, but I generally find it, a lot of places you can find it if you look. It drive them crazy. All my hardware guys around here, they hate me, especially, you know. And then this is the 10mm right here, the finer thread. This is the tap for that one. But yeah, they like when you go in and you're looking for this stuff, the early brake fittings. This is 9mm brake line fittings here. This is the 10mm, what, you know, came out later. But boy, this 9mm flare nut here and these 9mm fittings, whoo! I'm the master of the 9mm hardware, so if anybody ever needs it for restoration purposes, let me know. It was 67 and earlier. You know, these are some parts here. This is one cleaned up, 9mm flare nut. Yeah, walk into your parts store and ask for those. They may call you bad words. Yeah, and then another good thing to know is my bottle's kind of empty there, but I call it the FJ40 Love Juice. That's the, I make my own blaster oil, break loose oil, penetrating oil. It's 50% acetone, 50% ATF, automatic transmission fluid. Best stuff in the world, super cheap. Wear gloves and don't use it on paint because it'll be hard on your hands. But that's a absolute best way to get your break loose oil. And then for Landcruisers, the best bet I have ever found is these 3/8 socket Phillips screwdriver heads. This one here is a number 4 Craftsman. Really good. Not a couple of things I think that use the 4. This is a number 2 Craftsman, a little bit small, but these are the number 3s are the ones that I use a lot. This one here is a Husky, and then this one here is a Craftsman Phillips 3 PH3 they'll call them. Now look at this. You can see these on the tip, not the same, but then you can see the Craftsman one, how much bigger it is there in diameter as far as in difference of the Husky one. Now I'm going to show you some secrets here in a minute on how to use these. And I do use these in the very most wrong way possible. I'll show you, but definitely not manufacturer's recommendations for usage, because I break them and I consider them disposable. Yeah. Anyway, hold on a minute. We'll get over and I'll show you a little bit. One thing I was going to mention too about Landcruiser hardware is the sizing. The thread pitch is usually either a 1.0 or a 125. You can see on the, I don't know if you can see on these, but like the 10 millimeters a 1.0 thread pitch, 8 millimeters a 125 thread pitch, 6 millimeter is a 1.0. When they talk about thread pitch and they give a number, that is the millimeter in between a thread. So a 1 is a 1 millimeter, that'd be 1 millimeter in between threads. A 1.5 would be 1.5 millimeters in between threads. So what's going to happen is the finer one is going to be the lower number. Right? I'm confused. Yeah. The lower number, like a 1, is going to be a smaller. The 125 is going to be a bigger, so that would be more coarse. They don't really have, like in standard American coarse and fine, they give you a number, 125, 100, 175. But that's the, like I say, that measures how the distance between threads gives you your coarse or your fine. Alrighty. I think we're recording again. So, let me show you the improper usage of these socket tile Phillips heads here. I got my red shit. And what I do is I take these, and put them in here, and then you take a hammer, a little bulky hammer, smack. Well, that was sticking. But usually what they do is that'll seat that in there really good, and then you come along and with your ratchet. Sometimes these are really tough. So push. Ah, in there, those will fizzle. Okay, came loose. Got one. There we go. So that one came out. Okay. Woo, look at the rust in there. Yeah. Boy. Like I said, I don't know why the Japanese use such bad hardware, but oh well. There's one. See if we can get the other one. For some reason, it's not seating in there. Normally, they seat and they're really good. Get in there and push like hell. Turn. Okay, there we go. Got another one. I'm lucky. I have to drill and tap. Usually I'd have to drill and tap all this. Yeah. Anyways, got 2 of them out. Got real lucky today. Anyways, this can be your best friend. The socket style Phillips head, number 3 Phillips. Especially like on those windshield ones. The Phillips on the windshield and the old hinges for the doors. They've been changed out. Yeah, these things, and bad usage. I've broken a bunch of them. I consider them disposable just because you have to do what you have to do with them. Yeah. Some other places of hardware, oh, excuse me while I walk around here. Some hard places of hardware can be this clutch master cylinder. Down in there where you get, what I do is I replace those with an Allen head. 8 millimeter 1.0 thread pitch. And that way it's really easy to get in there. That one that kind of hides in there, because that one can be hard to get to with a regular socket. Anyway, that's what I do. I swap those out, put those in stainless, of course. And Another little fun fact of Landcruiser trivia. I'm going to go in the backyard here and show you. I got an old motor back here. If you ever notice on old motors, you see that main nut there? If you'll notice, it's like a hook. A little bit of Landcruiser all the way through the 80s. When you look at these, that is actually so that you can hand start the F, 2F, I believe all the way to the 3F. It had that style of nut. So what you did is you put the jack handle in there, and that would allow you to hand crank the motor. If you're out in the field, technically I wouldn't want it to backfire, maybe kick on you. I'd whack her. Come on, my dog. Sorry about that. Yeah, anyway, that's kind of interesting that, you know, those came with hand start crank nuts all the way up. Good bit of Landcruiser knowledge there.